Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share my Airbnb data visualization project. In this project, I use Python for exploratory data analysis, Excel for some transformations, and Power BI with Power Query to build a data model connecting fact and dimension tables. The highlight of this project is two interactive dashboards showcasing Airbnb listings from two amazing cities, Chicago and New Orleans. These dashboards are not only insightful but also beginner friendly, making them a great resource if you are just starting out. This walkthrough is split into two-part video series so you can follow along step by step. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. So let's get started. So the topic or the dataset that we have taken is for Airbnb, and it is specific to two cities, which is Chicago and New Orleans. So talking about Airbnb, as we all know, it is a prominent online platform which enables like reserving accommodations, which is spanning a spectrum from beds and rooms to apartments and entire homes across global locales. So Airbnb is used here in India also, but we are going to take up the data of only two cities which are from the US, which is Chicago and New Orleans. So starting with the data cleaning part that I have done in Python. So using Google Colab, I imported the two listings dataset of New Orleans and Chicago here in the first command. Secondly, I took the first 5 records of the dataset, starting with list Chicago and list New Orleans. So here we have all the required columns that are present in the dataset. Also taking out the info of both the datasets, we can see that we have a few null columns which are present in the dataset of Chicago also and in the New Orleans one also. We can see that the neighborhood group is actually completely null. It doesn't have any relevant value, so we are going to drop the particular two columns from both the datasets. Okay, now going ahead with the other data types, we can see that the last review, which is a date type column, is not a date type column here in the dataset. We are going to change that from both the datasets given. So also calculating the null values, we can see that the host name is having 13 null values, but in the other dataset, which is from which is for Chicago, we do not have any null value in the dataset. So we are going to skip this particular column and we are not going to remove this. We are going to take up the remaining values for our dataset as it has some of the relevant values present. Also, we can see that since we were supposed to change the data type of the date time column for the last review columns of both the datasets, so we are going to do the same for both of them, and checking the dataset for the last time. So moving ahead with the column, after changing the date and time of these columns, we are going to take up the price column, which also can be seen with some amount of null values present, and we are going to fill those null values with the mode of those particular columns. So mode is basically the maximum or the commonmost value of that particular column. So we are going to fill that particular null value cells with the mode of those particular columns. So doing the same ahead, we can see that after verifying the null values in all the columns, we can see that there are apt amount of values present, relevant values present in both the datasets. So we are going to take the output of both these datasets into Excel form, and we are going to use those particular datasets for the visualization. We have discussed about Airbnb as a product, and starting with the visualization, we are supposed to first of all fetch the tables. So for that, we are going to go to the transform tab, which is going to open the Power Query editor. Opening the Power Query editor. Alright, so as per the dataset, we had the same number of columns in both the listing datasets for Chicago and New Orleans. What the particular dataset demanded was there was no column which represented the property type. So for that, I took to the source of the dataset from the website, and I downloaded one of the raw files, by using which I opened the Microsoft Excel and used the VLOOKUP function to take down the values for the property type into my original dataset, which I am going to use in my dashboard. So since this particular column was not present in both the listings dataset of from the source, so I used VLOOKUP function to use the same. As you can see here also in the Chicago listings, I have used the property type that I fetched from the raw table. So now there was no transformation that could be done here apart from taking the headers, since I was not having directly taken up headers from the data. So I used the use first row as header option to take up all the entries that are present in the first row for the column values, and then I changed the data type as per my requirement, and later on I renamed the column which was for the price to price in dollars, and now it represents the currency also, as a data type is int or whole number. So based on this, when we close the particular Power Query editor, that was all that was done for the query editor part. So before moving ahead with the visualization after data transformation, when we have a particular date type column in a data set, we are supposed to create a calendar table so as to validate the same. So for keeping up with the values, we create a calendar table which is created using calendar auto function. As you can see in the model view, I have a calendar column which is related or which is connected to the last review column of both the tables of both the datasets with a one-on-many relationship. Rest we have only the measure tables and top and selector table that we will talk about later. Starting with the first dashboard, which is for Chicago. So I'm not using the navigation because it will take some time due to my system. So though it functions very well, I have started with creating the listing, which was the first requirement based on the dataset. So the listing and price based approach was to be done so as to find out what is the popular neighborhood. So I have taken out the values which are bifurcated based on the listings and price for fetching out the particular popular neighborhood where the Airbnb setup is done. So I've fetched the popular neighborhood by listing and based on price. You cannot see the price value here as this particular visual is selected, I'll click on the button that I've created using the selection and bookmarks tab. And since the bookmark was created based on what visual I'm going to create, as you can see, if I directly select this particular visual and I am going to remove this, you are not going to see that here because of the bookmark that is created. So if I click on the listings, it will show me only the listing visual, and it will hide directly the price visual, which is just below that. Both of the visuals are overlapping. Similar thing is done here, where I am using the room and property buttons to switch over the visuals that are overlapping for representing the property type share percentage, as well as room type share percentage. That was one of our requirements. So this is the share person by room type. Another one is share person by property type. I could not show the previous visual properly. So the price based popular neighborhood is as you can see here in the visual. So the value that is given is the average of price, or the average rating, not rating, basically the average cost that is supposed to be spent to take up an Airbnb property at that particular neighborhood, in that particular neighborhood, which is Austin. So similarly, there are other neighborhoods like near Northside, Clearing, Westtown, Loop, Beverly, and Lincoln Park, and all of these are having certain average pricing, which is suggested over here, and that is all in dollars. So based on the listings, if we go again, that is around number of listings are here 1077, which are unique listings. For this unique listings, I have created a measure. This measure, as you can see here so this one is my measure that I have created. I have taken out the distinct count of Chicago listings IDs. IDs is basically the number of listings, which is the total set of data that is present in the with non-null values in the dataset. So similarly, I have done something with the pricing as well. I think I have taken the pricing directly since that was not required. Okay.